Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, October 29th, 2013. This is Talk to Me Tuesday number 111. Apologies in advance, this is probably going to be quite a lengthy video, but not really much I can do about that. So let's get started. First up, I was able to complete my top secret challenge project I was working on, but you're going to have to wait just a little bit longer to see that. That'll be the end of the video. So, first thing I have to show, I remembered last week what it was that I was forgetting. I woke up Wednesday morning, I was like, duh. I don't know about anyone else, but when it comes to YouTube's recommendation for videos for me, a lot of times I'm shaking my head saying, and I want to watch this video, why? But at other times they do recommend some pretty good videos, and I usually put them into the watch later list, which I'll then sit down before I go to sleep at night and I'll start going through the list. It is a very, very rare occurrence that they recommend a video that I look at and say, wow, it piques my interest enough to watch it that moment in time. And this happened a couple weeks ago. The title of the video was 2-in-1 socks on double pointed needles. And I'm saying, and what the heck is a 2-in-1 sock? So of course, interest peaked, had to watch the video. As soon as I was done watching the video, it was, here come the needles, here come 2 scrap balls of yarn. I've got to try it. Anyone who knits socks on double pointed needles may or may not have heard of what's known as the dreaded second sock syndrome. And that's where you get the first sock done and all of a sudden you're saying, I gotta do another one of these. I don't suffer from that syndrome. I find the first sock to be the one that takes the longest because it's stopping and measuring and trying on and figuring out how many rounds for this section, that section, Whereas with the second one, I know how many rounds, I can whiz right through it. Not a problem. If it doesn't get done right away, it's because, as usual for us crafters, we get sidetracked with other things. But nowadays, you can do what's known as the magic loop method, so you can make 2 socks at once. But anyone who knows me knows that me and magic loop, we don't get along. Not at all. But this video, in essence, showed you how you could make 2 socks at the same time on 1 set of double-pointed needles. And ta-da! Now, these socks are in no way anatomically correct. They do contain all the different aspects of socks. They have the cuff, they have the regular work, they have the heel, they have the gusset, they have the foot, they have the toe. It was just really interesting. When I was working on these socks, this sock here was inside of this sock. So what I was looking at was this. What I was working on was both of them. Really interesting. It's in the lines of double knitting. The only difference is instead of making 1 double thick piece of fabric, you're making 2 totally separate pieces of fabric. Really cool. If you have never and have no intention of knitting socks even, go check out the videos. It's really cool how it's done. I have a beginner pattern for a pair of footies that I think I'm going to try using this method. And I will either do pictures as the work progresses or do little video clips as the work progresses. So when it's done, I can just compile them all and you can see how it came out to be. But it's really neat. I was like, wow, I like that idea. So I will be hopefully, at least getting there by next week. We never know. I have to find the yarn I need for it first. But really fascinating little piece. And I'm going to link to 2 different people. So if you are interested in trying the method, the woman kind of gives you basics, but the guy goes a little more into depth as far as how he does the decreases and picking up stitches and so on. So yeah, go check it out. It's cool. So next up, I made myself another squizzle, and I would like to introduce everybody to Pipsqueak. She's made using the Bernat Pipsqueak in the color Neapolitan. And it was funny because after I was done, this is the squizzle I showed you last week, who will be making a trip pretty soon, probably towards the end of the week. And this is the one I just did. Now these were both done on the same exact size needles. They contain the same stitches. Everything, oops, is exactly the same. But she came out smaller. And I'm saying, what the heck? If you feel this one has a more cottony feel to it, whereas this one has a silkier feel. So even though they're the same brand of yarn, the difference in the texture actually created a different size squazzle. But I love her. So this makes, I think, number 10 squazzle for my collection. So, and this one will be going bye-bye soon. So I have this one to replace it. Yeah, I know. I'm nuts, but I love me my squazzles. So they're just so soft and cuddly. So enough of that. Next up, we had a very noisy day yesterday, and I was sitting there yesterday evening and just didn't really feel like thinking too much. So I decided to pick a random pattern to do. And I went on my Ravelry library, and I think it was on the first page, and I ended up making an octopus. Yeah, okay, we are random today. Socks and squazzles and octopuses, oh my. But it's a very easy, very simple pattern. It's done in 2 separate pieces. You do the head, and then you do the tentacles afterwards. The eyes are actually eyes that Erin, Gimme Yarn 418, sent to me in my package. And all total, start to finish, everything, I would say this took no more than a half an hour to complete. That's how simple it is. I will link to the pattern in the description if you'd like to go make yourself one of these octopuses or a bunch of these octopuses. They're really cool. And they kind of look like octopuses. So yeah, okay, let's not waste any more time. So the next thing I have to show, a couple weeks ago I showed a little witch's hat that I had made, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And Erin, Gimme Yarn 418, had made a suggestion to do a snow witch. So during all the wonderful noise we were dealing with while the bathroom was being worked on yesterday, I said, you know, I think I'm going to do something with that. So I took the hat, and this is what I made. Very basic, very simple. I just created a basic snowman body. Nothing extravagant about it. I created a little cape for the snowman. And of course the hat with just a little piece of orange ribbon to add a pop of color. And there's my little snow witch. And it's my little snowman who has glue hanging off of its strings. Nothing new. Who is all set to go trick-or-treating this year. So thank you very much, Erin, for the idea. And in this case, instead of adding nose and mouth and all other kinds of embellishment, I thought that less was more. So there's my little snow witch. So I think she's cute. It's the best of both worlds, Halloween and snow people combined. Now, the moment some people have been waiting for. But before I show you the completed project, a little brief history on how this challenge came to be. Just recently I had a period of time where, because of work and other issues and things going on, problems with my computer and so on, I had gone for a period of about 4 weeks or so not posting a video. And then I finally had the time and the charge in my camera and everything to get a video done and uploaded. And Ofen Jen, the founder of TTMT, had made a comment about, you know, the things I had done, and towards the end she said with everything, her brain exploded. Well, I picked up on that, and I commented back, and I was like, oh my God, someone call 911, call a doctor, scrape up the gray matter. We got to save this one. She's too important to the, you know, crafting world and so on. Just off the wall crazy. And her response to me was to challenge me to make what would be called a exploded brain doll. So I decided to take the challenge. And it was a challenge. It was rather interesting because I was working completely off the top of my head. And I wanted to kind of model it a little after the person who put the challenge out there. So I'll go into detail after I show you, but I would like to introduce everyone to Offen Brains. um, yeah, this is the creation that came from that challenge. This is Offen Brains, my daughter's name for it. And yeah, rather appropriate. I hope you can see it really well. We'll give you a close-up of the eyes and the brains, and now we'll go into a little detail about this, okay? Anyone who watches Offen Jen's videos knows that she alters t-shirts, makes them a little more feminine sometimes. So when I did the t-shirt for this little doll, I decided it needed puffier sleeves to look a little more feminine and a little lower neckline and so on. So I gave her a nice little turquoise t-shirt, dressy t-shirt. She's got her jeans on, and of course she's got her orange and black striped socks. I initially started with just the orange on the socks, and then Offen Jen had posted a picture on Facebook of her orange and black striped Halloween socks. So when it came to the finishing touches on the doll, I had to put the black striping in for the socks. It was just, that was appropriate. Then Offen Jen has brown eyes, and though my daughter doesn't have brown, we decided to go with gold. And my daughter actually created the little dangly eye here, and this eye in the mouth. And of course, here's where the brain is exploding from the head. I didn't have the color of her hair, so we just went with the lighter color. But yeah, this is the beginning stages of her brain exploding from her head. It was funny. I'm sorry. My daughter and I got a good laugh because it was, you know, I hit brain lock. We sat there straight through from Tuesday on, and I'm just holding this doll, and it's nothing more than the body itself. No hair, no eye, no mouth, no embellishment on the brain, no nothing. Excuse me. And I'm just saying to my daughter, I've got to figure this out. I've got to figure this out. So Saturday, I actually just grabbed hold of my embroidery floss and my needle, and my daughter said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm just going to wing it. Whatever happens, happens." So I started out just kind of embellishing on the brain a little bit to give it a little, you know, like a brainy look to it. And it is actually like bumpy. The way I did it actually has like bumps through it, so it's not just flat and smooth. And then I kept saying, "You've got to do the eyes. You got to do the eyes." So then we came up with the idea of the bead that's painted to actually look like an eyeball on the bottom here. I can't get hold of it, it's so small. And then of course the red that would dangle from it. So yeah. And then of course the mouth, because she's but when it came to the hair, I was like, how the heck am I going to do this? So I tried a little experiment for a way to attach the hair to the head, and it worked, and it came together. Just, you know. But my daughter and I got a big laugh because when I first started putting the hair on, it was just like sticking up at the top of the head. It was crazy. But this is it. This is Offen Brains. I hope you like it, Offen Jen. I get a kick out of it. It really looks a lot better in person where you see a lot more of the texture in the brain and everything. I don't know if you can catch that on camera, but yeah, so there's Offen Brains. So thank you very much for the challenge, Offen Jen. I hope you like her. I like her. And no, she's not anatomically correct because there's no way that Offen Jen is this big around the middle. Okay, so, but, you know, she's a stuffed doll. So anyway, before I croak and this video gets any longer, I just want to say happy Halloween to everyone out there. I hope you all enjoy the holiday. I'm just going to relax. So, but I do look forward to watching everyone's videos. I hope you all have a wonderfully crafty week and a wonderfully crafty weekend. For me, it's nice, it's early, it's just 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to go get this video edited and uploaded so you can see it, and For you, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I do hope it's a great one, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.